Iranian in general declares, quote, "Jihad has always been an inevitable part of the history of Islam." In Iran, General Hossein Salami, commander-in-chief of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, or IRGC for short, delivered a provocative address on IRINN TV, where he emphatically stated that, quote, "Jihad was and still is an inevitable part of the history of Islam." He portrayed the state of Israel as an aggressor, referring to it as a quote-unquote dagger in the Islamic world. Salami's rhetoric was stark and charged, drawing upon historical grievances and a narrative of enduring struggle. He insisted that conflict with quote-unquote arrogant oppressors would persist until the arrival of the Hidden Imam, a messianic figure in Shia Islam. General Salami's speech underscores the deeply entrenched hostilities in the region, with his direct quote capturing the essence of his position. Quote, "They move the dagger and tear out the flesh of the Islamic nation's side, causing a new hemorrhage." His words reflect the enduring and intense nature of the geopolitical and religious tensions in the Middle East. Should we watch this?
Oh, wait.
That's the wrong Salami.
Oh, okay, wait. Sorry. This one. I was just looking for German. Yeah. All right, let's watch this.
Oh, wait, we can't hear this.
Oh. There you go.
بنابراین هرگاه اسلام در میانه سلطه سیاه ستم.
Wait, we should pause.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. And so every time there's like a new subtitle, I'll read it. So he's saying, every time Islam shines in the midst of the rule of oppressive darkness,
جنگ با مسلمانان
a war against the Muslims is certain to come. So I would just like to respond to that. No. We already need to take a break. If this is if what we're seeing is the light of Islam in the darkness of the world, I weep and grieve to see what the darkness is like.
Yeah.
Let's just say that first.
Yeah. And also, just these people are not lying when it comes to this battle is being religious and mandated by religion, and this has nothing to do. Basically, what you need to get out of this is that this has nothing to do with freeing Palestinians. Okay, because remember, the guy that is speaking, this is the person responsible, the institution responsible for all the money Hamas has. So you're looking at the funding behind Hamas's operation, and now they're telling you what they're about. They're not about, freeing Palestinians or giving them a land or giving them a country. They're about this. He's telling you what they're trying to do. So let's continue.
کافران حقیقت.
Need this.
Sorry, I muted myself. Saying, indeed, the infidels cannot tolerate the light of God. If this is, the light of God.
بر نمیتابند. تجلی نور خدا در زمین معادل است.
The revelation of God's light upon the earth.
تجلی نور خدا در زمین معادل است.
Is tantamount to the disappearance of the oppressors ruling darkness and tyranny.
با رخت بربستن تیرگی سیطره و ستم ستمکاران. پس
Therefore, jihad was and still is an inevitable part of the history of Islam.
جهاد یک جزء قطعی از تاریخ اسلام بوده است و تا آن
until the hidden Imam appears and fills the world with justice.
زمان که ظهور اتفاق بیفتد و جهان از عدل پر شود بخشی از
War against the arrogant oppressors will be an inevitable part of the Muslim's life.
زندگی مسلمانان به صورت اجتناب ناپذیر.
This is the part of Islamic, Shia, especially Shia Islamic worldview. Again, I know Hamas is Sunni, but their main funders are Shia, right? But this is the part of it that is very much in line with far left narrative. You know, the oppressor versus oppressing narrative mindset. That, you know, this is why they are such a good match with each other.
جنگ و کارزار با ستمکاران و مستکبران خواهد بود. در هر نقطه‌ای
At every point, they planted a dagger in the body of the Islamic nation.
خنجری بر پیکر امت اسلام فرو کردند.
I like how they weren't able to fill in the entire audience.
از 100 سال پیش به
Even 100 years ago, and particularly 75 years ago,
این طرف و مشخصاً از 75 سال
basically they're talking about Israel.
پیش به شکل واضح رژیم صهیونیستی رو
they jabbed the Zionist regime like a dagger into the side of the Islamic world.
So basically, he's saying the entirety of Israel is basically a wound. So the Islamic world being the Middle East and North Africa, they consider the existence of Israel as a Zionist state there. By the way, they don't call it Israel, they call it the Zionist regime. They consider that to be like a dagger that exists in the heart of the Islamic world. So it's a wound. So Israel is like a wound that needs to heal, and by heal they mean the eradication of.
Oh no, he's going to get more explicit about that. Don't even worry.
Oh, okay. I don't need to explain this.
You don't need to put two and two together for anyone because he's going to say it.
He's going to say it. He's going to say it. Okay.
مثل خنجری در پهلوی جهان اسلام فرو بردند. این قلیل
These insignificant Zionists are a foreign body.
صهیونیست ها در این جغرافیای بزرگ جهان
in the vast territory of the Islamic world.
اسلام یک شیء خارجی هستند که به تعبیر
If I may use the Latin expression, they were implanted in the body of the Islamic world.
لاتین آن ایمپلنت شدند در پیکره جهان اسلام. یک جسم خارجی
They constitute an annoying foreign body.
آزاردهنده که هر چند وقت یک بار
Once every so often they move the dagger.
با جابجا کردن این خنجر پهلوی این
and tear the flesh of the Islamic nation's side.
امت اسلام را میشکافند و یک خونریزی
causing a new hemorrhage.
جدید را به راه میاندازند.
So the entire Israel is a wound, is a dagger in the side of the Islamic world. And what do you do with wounds? They're just coming up with new metaphors to just explain their genocidal plans.
Yeah, what do you do with foreign bodies? What do you do with cancers?
Yeah, exactly.
So again, this is why I title this segment, when someone tells you who they are, believe them.
Mm. Yeah.
And I don't know why so many progressive people, particularly in the United States, have a hard time believing them. I don't know. Maybe it's because I go out of my way to go like search for media about what these like figures and states and the people that represent these ideologies say amongst each other, because what they say to like the Western audience is very different. When you go pay attention and go seek out and go pay attention to what they say to each other, it's very explicit. It's completely clear.
Yeah, I also want to make a point about, because some people are trying to make sense of all of this by thinking about, well, what sect of Islam is this, or what type of Islam this is, or where in Islam this is, because it happened when ISIS and Al-Qaeda, people were like, okay, what kind of Muslims are these? What sect do they belong to? And I try to explain to people, it doesn't matter. Like, oh, are they Salafis? Are they Islamic Brotherhood? Are they, what is it? What is this branch? Okay. But when this attack on October 7th has to show you how irrelevant that is, because it's Islam. It's not a sect of Islam, it's Islam. Look at the groups of people who are uniting over this. Hamas, if they had the power, they will kill every single Shia. If they were ruling over the world, Hamas would do mass execution of Shias. That's what they would do. And the same thing with the Shia government of the Islamic Republic of Iran. They would do that to Sunnis if they could, right? But look at what brings them together. I mean, you cannot be like the version of Islam that is Hamas and the version of Islam that is the Islamic Republic of Iran. It cannot be any more farther apart. Hamas and the Islamic Republic of Iran are so far away, because even when it comes to ISIS, they're like, okay, which school of thought do they belong to within Sunni Islam? I'm like, we're not even talking about Sunni Islam anymore. We're talking Shia Islam, the Ethna Ashari version of Shia Islam, and Khomeinism. So the Velayat Faqih version of the Ethna Ashari of Shia Islam, and you have a Muslim Brotherhood version. And look at Muslim Brotherhood. Compare the Muslim Brotherhood that is Hamas to the Muslim Brotherhood that we have in Tunisia, right? So the Muslim Brotherhood, which is a Sunni version, a Sunni Maktab in Sunni Islam, you can see how closer they are to the Islamic Republic when it comes to what to do with Jewish people than they are to the Muslim Brotherhood that exists in Tunisia. They're so much farther apart from them. So what brings them together? Jew hatred. With all the disagreements they have, they want to annihilate each other. But with all the disagreements they have, the only thing that brings them together is the fact that they want to take out as many Jews as possible. Yes, exactly what Darko is saying. United in genocidal ideology. It's just Islam. It's not a sect of Islam. It's Islam.
Exactly, because how else would they find a common... What else is the commonality?
Yeah, exactly.
What is the common denominator? It reminds me of, it's like when there is a lot of drama happening and there's someone who is consistently a part of all of the drama, something is starting to tell me that there's a common denominator here.
Yeah.
I'm beginning to sense, Anyways, we got a lot of super chats, so let's go through this. Erican gave us a super chat saying thank you, Erican. And I think this was in response to your capitalism comment. He's saying, no. Everyone should strive for fully automated luxury space communism.
Space communism. Okay.
Bringing the proletariat revolution to the stars. Intergalactic comrades. I feel like that would be a really good Adult Swim cartoon. Weedle is saying, Susanna, do you think Palestinians deserve to have human rights? Because it doesn't come off that way. I already asked Armin this the other day. Of course, this isn't a conversation. This isn't even a conversation to be had. I don't that's a non-starter. Of course. What? I think this is in response to me getting heated about Queers for Palestine. What people need to understand is that when I'm talking about how their support is not wanted, that they're seen as freaks that need to be killed, I'm not giving that to a specific ethnic group. I'm giving this to Islamists in general, which is across the entire Muslim world. This isn't even a question. This isn't even a question. Because I follow a lot of Muslim-oriented and pro-Palestinian media. I follow a lot of it. And when they post photos or videos of Queers for Palestine marches and stuff, I just go browse the comment section to see how these people feel about the support they are receiving from the Queers for Palestine. And let's just say it's pretty scary, the reaction to how they feel about queers or Palestine. It's terrifying, actually. I'm not giving that to any group in particular. I'm giving this to Islamists.
No, like, can I go back? Because I have something to say as well.
Oh, I already unstarted. Sorry. Go ahead.
So here's the thing. I am for Palestinian queers. You know, if you talk, if you want to talk about, so if you want to talk about human rights, let's get it right. And these people who are, say, queers for Palestine, would they admit that the main institutions that have done the most for Palestinian queers are Israeli institutions, Israeli activists that went out of their way to try to get LGBT people from Palestine and bring them to safe havens within Israel to save their lives? Would they say that? So how about, instead of saying queers for Palestine, saying for Palestinian queers, because that would make you for human rights for Palestinians.
Yeah. Nasreen gave us a super chat and saying, I am very proud of Armin. I'm proud of you, Armin, for your article. Thank you, Nasreen.
Thank you.
Erican gave us a super chat and said the salami joke is great.
Thank you, Erican.
GJ gave us a super chat saying, at Armin, on the real life weight of ethnicity, remember Yugoslavia and how it broke up into 9 countries? People want own space.
People want their own space based on their ethnicity? Is that what you're trying to suggest? I mean, the Yugoslavia... Yeah, I don't know exactly what you're saying. On the real life weight of ethnicity. Okay, so I don't know what exactly you're trying to say here, but what people want and what is best for people are not necessarily the same thing, right? So, for example, there are some Kurdish people who want a Kurdistan right now as a country right now. That is the worst thing. Again, not all Kurds. Most Iranian Kurds don't want that, but many Kurds do want that. And the main people that would be hurt by that is Kurdish people. It makes no sense to do that right now. So, yeah. So what they want, you shouldn't just pay attention to what people are asking for. You should also look into empirical evidence and what leads to the highest level of well-being for people. What I want is a country for Palestine, right? Again, when it comes to caring about human rights for Palestinians, the way you get that is, this is why we condemned the settlements in the West Bank by Israel. We call that, we condemn that. We have done that all the time because we want a country for Palestinians. But the thing is that the reason why it's easy to defend that is because giving a state to the Palestinians, a nation states for Palestinians, doesn't require cutting out of any piece of any other country, because there is no country right there now. There should be a country there. We should make that part Palestine, right? But for example, making Kurdistan a state requires you to cut out from other countries. So it's so easy to defend, for me at least, it's so easy to defend fighting for a Palestinian state, but not for Kurdistan, even if they want it.
Imran had a good point. He's saying, what's funny is that a huge chunk of the Islamic world is against Iran. Facts.
Yes. That's why the Islamic Republic tries to support Hamas and Hezbollah, because it tries to get the support of the Islamic world by showing that it's the only state that supports the fight against Israel.
Yeah. Why do you think they destabilize the entire region? Armin, I was talking to my boyfriend about this, about what the Islamic Republic does to destabilize everything, and he was like, why haven't other countries just invaded them at this point?
Oh.
And I was like, I'm assuming they've made the calculation that is more harmful than it is beneficial.
Yeah. Tell them to look into what happened with Iraq.
Yeah, exactly. No, I know that's what we talked about. No, and then also, it's kind of funny in the sense that I have several friends in Iran. I have several Iranian friends who also are like accelerationists, and they legit want other countries to come fucking directly invade Iran. And I'm like, God damn, you guys, God damn. Anyways,
there's disagreements over this.
Yeah. Oh, duh. Shia gave us a super chat saying thank you. Why is it that most of the time when I see these Islamic scholars and Dawa clowns preaching Islam, all they do is hate other religions and people?
Because it's in their book, because it's in the Quran. I mean, I know a lot of people think that it's more complicated than this, but it's genuinely not. It's pretty straightforward. A lot of leftist academics try to make it seem like this is like, oh, it's more nuanced than this, but it's literally because it's in their books, it's in their scripture. Yeah.
Your boyfriend is pure American, except he's literally not. Hilarious. Shuvo is saying, why is the left so vocal about Palestine and yet barely anyone spoke about Masa Amini? What a shame. The hypocrisy is outrageous. Exactly. Because they're not liberals. They're actually illiberal.
Yes.
And they will consistently and constantly betray the people within these countries, communities, and cultures who are trying to do the extremely difficult and dangerous work of dissenting against conservative traditional norms for the sake of trying to enlighten, reform, and modernize their own countries, cultures, and societies. They are betraying their best allies every single day, stabbed in the back.
Right. Yeah. To be fair, some leftists did talk about it. Like, it's not all of them.
Yeah. A very noticeable lack. GJ is saying, why hasn't Bill Warner debunked the notion of the evil aggression of the Christian Crusades, all based on the Islamic sources shown that Islam equals the aggressor? I don't know who Bill Warner is, so I can't speak to
I read some of his books. Bill Warner is somebody who writes against Islam. Islam being an aggressive religion doesn't mean Christianity is not. Yeah. So I don't know. Islam and Christianity, we have many examples throughout history where Christianity, Christians were the aggressors using Christian beliefs. So we have a ton of examples for that. I mean, I don't think Bill Warner is a very reliable source. His analysis is very biased. I read some of his books, and the way he uses numbers. Anyways, I don't think he's a very reliable source. But yeah, Christianity is a very aggressive religion, and it has done a lot of crimes. And Islam is too. I don't think you need to just you say one is and that. It's not binary. They're both horrible. Yeah.
M says, thank you for the super chat, M. I changed my profile picture to something more PG just for you guys. Rainbow. Do you think Iran or even China has a role in the social media discourse on the far left? Yes. I know for a fact that Iran certainly does. 100%. They're open about it.
Yeah, I mean they brag about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they brag about it, and they recently have been caught. It's not just the social media; it's also in U.S. politics. They're just recently been caught. There was an investigation done by Iran International that showed.
Don't even get me started on the Biden administration. It's fucking embarrassing.
Yeah, there are agents of the Iranian government within the Biden administration. They got to some recent investigations show that, and and now that they Iran managed to get to that level of influence. Again, we're not making this stuff up. This is not like a, scare tactic. Oh, they're coming for no, has been done a legit investigation. Iran has managed to get to that
and our
high
current
of a level.
administration is refusing to revoke their security clearances.
Oh wow, I didn't know that part. Really? Shit. I didn't know that. Okay.
It's an absolute disaster. It's an absolute disaster.
Wow.
Secular Sakai, thank you, Sakai, for the super chat, saying, everyone, remember to check out the link in the description and consider becoming a monthly donor. Each donor helps, and more monthly donors of $10 or more especially helps the show. Yes, good point, Sakai. Yeah, let's do a plug for that right now. So, guys, for those who are not aware, we are working on getting our full-blown news writing team back on to the show to bring back the show to the quality that you guys know and love. And to do that, we are going for a goal of 50 $10 monthly donors. And actually, that reminds me that I need to pull up and see how many we have right now, because last time I checked, we were close to 30. We were almost close to 30, which is really exciting because Sakai has generously pledged that he will essentially match the donations of 10 people. So if we get to 40 monthly donors, he will increase his support to be equivalent to 10 monthly donors. So instead of us pushing all the way to get to 50, we only have to get to 40 and he will cover the rest. So if you love this show, if you love what we do, if you come here, you enjoy, you're entertained, or you learned anything, please consider becoming a monthly donor and help keep the news show alive. Check out the link in the description and also in the live chat. And that reminds me that I will also pull up to see what our progress is, because last time I checked a few days ago, we were at like 26, I believe, but I'm gonna have to
26.
Yeah, it's
That's
crazy.
Huge progress. That's huge progress since last week. Thank you guys. That's amazing.
That's off the top of my head. I will go find the more accurate number.
We were going financially bankrupt until you guys came and supported us. So thank you for that. We only need to get to 40 and we're going to be good. Yeah.
Okay, we have a few more super chats and then we can go to the next story. Animation is saying, have there been any fatwas issued against any ethnic group yet? I don't know. Are you aware of any fatwas issued against an entire ethnicity?
I mean, you don't need a fatwa. This is this is fundamental part of Islam to be against Jewish people, and and that's the only ethnic group that Islam is against, based on ethnicity. And fatwas are for things that are not part of Islam already. You need it's an interpretation. It's a ruling that is based on someone's understanding of Islam. You don't need that for things that is so foundational already within Islam. So there's that.
Mm-hmm. And finally,
it's as if like saying, has there been any fatwa for saying that Muhammad was the prophet of God? Like, you don't need a fatwa for that. That's part of Islam. Yeah, but go on.
Yeah. Weedle says, Armin and Susanna, I actually have a Palestinian queer friend. I'm also Palestinian myself, but I also hate all of the Abrahamic religions because I do understand exactly how damaging these ideologies are. Then we have something in common, Weedle draws. Myself, I have multiple queer Palestinian friends. And there's one person in particular, and the abuse that she goes through because she's queer from her community is like something I literally cannot describe on YouTube. It's one of the most disturbing things I have ever heard in my life, to know someone personally that's actively going through that to this day.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get emotional.
If you could also let us know, wouldn't you agree that Palestine is not a good place to be queer? Like, would you be able to admit that?
And here's the thing. Go ahead, Armin, finish your thought.
No, I just want to mention that part of the reason why we criticize a lot of leftists who say queer for Palestine because they don't know what they're supporting. Because when you say that we genuinely care for queers in Palestine, and that, I just want a lot of leftists who are supposed to be LGBT activists, they completely ignore all the horrible conditions that LGBT people face in Palestine, and they would not tolerate a fraction of that if it was happening in Western countries, but they're willing to completely ignore it if it's happening in Palestine, because they are, and I think they are the ones who don't care about Palestinians. They are the ones who are willing to sacrifice fighting for LGBT rights because of people who are anti-imperialist, anti-West, anti-Israel. So they are sacrificing the cause for Palestinian LGBT because of their anti-imperialist, anti-Western, or anti-Israeli agenda. Yeah.
And a lot of people retort and be like, okay, what you guys need to understand is that we know that this is a Muslim country, a Muslim society, and yeah, they have this, it's an Islamic society. We don't expect them to support gay rights, but that doesn't mean that we think that they should be, bombed and experience death from above. Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. But what these people don't understand is that liberation will never come from Islamists. Liberation will never come from Islamists. So to side with Islamists for the sake of anti-imperialist or anti-colonial goals is to leave that population essentially more miserable than Iran.
Yeah. All right, let's move on.
Okay.
To Noman.
Oh, Newman gives us a super chat saying, well, random super chat. Love you people. Thank you, Newman. Noman?
Thank you.
Oh, fuck. I just realized I keep on pronouncing his name wrong.
Noman.
Some habits die hard. GJ is saying, is The Reliance of the Traveler not a great book for beginners rather than the Cryptic Quran? I'm not familiar with any of these books.
No. I mean, no. If you're looking into hadith, that is for you to see what Islamic beliefs are. I mean, Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim would be a good source, and also for Shias, Sahih the Kafi is a book that is the main, and Nahj al-Balagha would be your major sources of Islamic teaching other than the Quran, for Shia beliefs. Yeah. Do you know who makes the most amazing, gorgeous, and other adjectives that I can't use here on YouTube, blasphemous art ever? We do! And for some reason, we are giving it away for free. Download them now using the link in the description before we change our mind.